Hey guys, it is week 5. If you are watching this video, you are doing week 5 X2, which means that you are doing kind of the level 2 version of our ELA work. Totally fine and still going to be challenging, trust me. But if you're watching this, the first thing that you're going to want to do is decide if you want to do level X2, like this video is going to talk about, or if you want to do the level 1 work, which I will also post in Google Classroom. So you will be able to see both. Only choose one. You do not need to do all of the things. If you did level X2 last time, you're probably going to want to stay with that because you're just going to be a little confused about what we're doing in the other one, I think. So if you're in the right spot, go ahead and keep listening. I just want to walk you through what week 5 will look like. So on Monday, you're going to start by reading through a slideshow that is talking about several different terms. We have talked about some of them, but you're mostly going to go over irrelevant evidence, what a motive is, what an alibi is, and how you can be strategic in using these things. So you're going to be reading through the slides, and as you are doing so, just like you did last week, you're going to be taking notes on a separate document that has what slide all of the pieces of information you need are on, but make sure you are reading every single word on here because there are questions about, like, does it make sense for Hayden to have this motive? And if you haven't read the PowerPoint, you're not going to get it. Side note, just as a reminder, Hayden is 8. That's kind of important to know as you're going through that. So we've heard a lot of these terms before, like alibi and motive, but it's really a review of that. And then when you get to irrelevant evidence, there is a reason somebody would want to strategically use irrelevant evidence that this discusses. So check that out. The very last thing you will do is you are going to write a counterclaim paragraph. So just to go over this quickly, the slideshow will do so as well. A counterclaim means that you are acknowledging the opposing viewpoint. Okay, so if I am writing, this is the classic paper about how I think that we should not have school uniforms, even though I believe we should not. If I'm strategic, I'm going to also acknowledge the side that thinks that we should. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to, before anybody else gets to talk about why school uniforms are good, I'm going to already counter them and say, like, some people think that school uniforms are good, but here's why they're not. So there is an example paragraph of a counterclaim in the slideshow. Make sure you read through all of it. It's all labeled what you're seeing. You are going to be in charge on your document of writing a counterclaim paragraph about this supposed argument. So the claim is technology belongs in schools, it helps students learn. The counterclaim that you're going to be writing a paragraph refuting or disproving is technology distracts students from doing their work well. You are going to write it just right under here. I have added this visual for you as a way to start. So I might start this by saying, one viewpoint others have is that technology distracts students from doing their work well. However, and then you're going to get into the disproving part. You're going to explain why that counterclaim is incorrect. So my biggest suggestion as you're working through this last part is to start with one of these sentence starters because that's going to give you a good start, and then you're going to complete your sentence starter with the counterclaim. And then you're just working to argue about why that's not true. So if you need to, look back at the example counterclaim paragraph to help you. Okay, so that is mostly all of Monday, except for it's week 4 of our passion projects. So this week you'll be working through week 4 of your project tracker at some point throughout the week. I always put it on Monday just so it's kind of top of mind. Make sure again that you're adding specific details to your tracking form. Do you like my bacon pointer, by the way? Just had to do it. Okay. Tuesday, you are just going to spend some time doing IR for reading. Um, Last week you started doing some research for your passion project, and then you completed a document that talked about your research. You took some notes on that. You're going to go back to that same document and you're going to update that for this week with a new article you found about your topic. So again, my topic is calligraphy. Last week I found an article about how um, if you hold your pen a different way, that can help. This coming week, I might do research about like different types of calligraphy or the history of calligraphy. So I'm going to conduct a new research search and I'm going to write my notes on the same document as last week. That is Tuesday. Side note, same thing with this. Make sure you are writing in detail complete sentences as you are doing this. Look at the example because that's what I'm expecting. On Wednesday, you guys are going to be solving a crime, which is super fun. So in this crime, a principal has been kidnapped. It's not our principal. This is a made up thing. But your job Wednesday is you're going to read through the information that we know. So it's kind of wordy, but you're going to need to read through the background, what the crime scene looks like, what eyewitnesses said, other important information, and what we interviewed. The next slide has evidence that we have collected that will also come in handy. And then what you're going to do in your own copy of this slideshow, you're going to answer 3 questions on the last slide. The first is, what can you infer about the victim? Which means, what do you know or what have you learned about the principal that was kidnapped? Based on everything you read, what are some things that you now know about him? List as many as you can. Number 2, what can you infer about each of the suspects and their relationship with the victim? So the suspect list is here. If you want, you can do this kind of in different sections. So maybe I'm going to start by saying Randy Murphy and put a colon there and say, like, here are all the things I learned about him through my research. Rex Jones, colon, here's what I know about him. So you're just kind of going through and listing what do you know about each of those people. Last one, this is where you are making your claim. Who do you think is the most likely culprit? So who is the most likely one to have committed this crime? And then what evidence do you have to come to this conclusion? I would strongly suggest thinking about people's motives and their alibis when you are determining this. There is one like most correct answer. So I want to see if you guys can get that. But again, go back to what you learned on Monday about alibis and motives and that kind of thing as you do that. That is your work for Wednesday. And then I just gave you kind of some work time if you need passion project work time. And then Thursday, since you just did a lot of work, is all basically catch up time aside from just as a little grammar reminder, please proofread all of the things you've done this week before you turn it in. I specifically mentioned the tracking sheet, but you're about to head to high school and I want to make sure that you are ready. So please make sure complete sentences, detailed sentences, there should not be spelling errors, all that good stuff. So that is what your week is looking like, learning some new stuff, kind of a review about alibis and motives and taking some notes on that, working on your passion projects, of course, doing another piece of research and updating that same document about your passion project topic, and then finally solving this crime about a kidnapped principal, okay? Side note, there are some student shout outs down there, so make sure you look at that, and a really cute thing that your awesome language arts teachers made for you. So if you ever have any questions, please let me know. I'm getting back to you as soon as I can, but you guys are doing a great job, and I wish we were in class so that I could see all of you again because I'm really missing you, but carry on and keep up with the good work. I will talk to you next time.